The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of its hosts, guests, or callers, and do not necessarily represent the opinions of WTBR-FM, its management, other producers, or sponsors.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cultural Pittsfield radio show. My name is Jen Glockner. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Development for the City of Pittsfield, and we're so happy to have Laura Brennan on the program today from the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, Economic Development Program Manager at the BRPC. Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Woohoo.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, a lot of people don't realize all of the things the BRPC does. The BRPC is Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, so obviously that means countywide. Yes. We're happy that there's some Pittsfield-focused things happening and in the pipeline. But let's just talk about what BRPC is.
Sure. It's not unusual for people not to know the full breadth of everything that we do because our typical audience is really the municipalities of the county. So we provide planning services in a lot of different disciplines. I happen to be part of the economic development team, but we have transportation planners and public health planners and energy and environmental planners. I'm not hitting on all of the points, but it's a large team, and we have our hands in a lot of things that are somewhat behind the scenes and often happen in direct connection with local governments. So when you read in the paper about zoning changes or countywide plans that have to do with economic development or transportation, we're often involved in those things and providing support to individual municipalities and also thinking regionally.
That's awesome. And the thing that has been widely discussed over the past several years is the outdoor recreation plan. BRPC spearheaded that. So what was that?
We did. With support from Milltown Foundation, we developed an outdoor recreation plan for the county that involved a lot of public engagement to understand what people appreciated about the outdoor rec opportunities in the region, but also what they thought we should be looking towards in the future. What should we be developing and making outdoor recreation a bigger part of our quality of life and also of our economy. So that plan resulted in several recommendations. And one of the things that we're doing as a direct result of that is building an outdoor recreation website for the region.
Oh.
It's so exciting to be able to do this because I think we have a handful of really well-known outdoor rec destinations that unfortunately are overused. And that's an impact on your experience when you're there, in a crowd, which is not the point.
Yes.
But also it's an impact on the environment. So in building this website, we hope to better disperse people to different places and to unveil some of the hidden gems of Berkshire County. We actually have an inventory of outdoor rec assets that has over 600 entries.
Wow, just in Berkshire County?
Just in Berkshire County, of trailheads and boat launches and parks and all sorts of ways to get outside and enjoy. And, you could rattle off maybe on one or two hands the ones that we go to over and over again, and that, your server at a restaurant or your front desk staff at a hotel are directing people to. So we want to change that and make sure that people understand how much there is to enjoy here while still being very mindful of protecting it.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And it is a gem. I mean, especially in COVID, so many people came from the city and other places and moved to the Berkshires because you could safely be outside hiking and biking and doing all of the cool outdoor recreation activities.
Exactly.
So what is the timeline for that website?
So we're in the midst of it now. We're going to be looking at some design concepts soon, and we expect that it will launch in very late 2023. So.
Very cool. Yeah. And it'll be user-friendly for all to use. I mean,
yes.
Share with the world, open to the public. Let's
Absolutely.
all take advantage of this resource.
Yep. I hope that it's really a resource for residents as much as it is for visitors. We're building it with the mindset that most people will be using it on their smartphone or a device that they're traveling with. So we're starting with that and then thinking of desktop experiences last.
Yeah.
So it definitely will be very user-friendly, very informative, and we're working with some great partners to make that happen. It will be a companion site to berkshires.org, which
cool.
I'm sure, a lot of our visitors use already to look at dining options and shopping and lodging and all sorts of ways to enjoy the Berkshires. That website, berkshires.org, has a big responsibility to get a lot of information out there to the public. So something like this that's more database driven is going to be sort of alongside berkshires.org as a way to really get down into the detail of what am I going to experience when I get to this trailhead? Is it right for my family? Can I take my dog? All of those things.
Yeah, that's awesome. And berkshires.org, I think it's meant for visitors, but we as residents go to berkshires.org to look up all the things. So this is going to be great for visitors and for residents alike, which is super important because more visitors mean better economic development within the county, which drives more people to want to move here.
Exactly.
So it's all a ripple effect.
Yep. And the average age of our visitor is going down. So we know that outdoor recreation is continuing to be a major driver of visitation. And the natural beauty of the Berkshires has always been one of the reasons why people come here. We just want to make it more welcoming.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah. Once again, this is the Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show. We're so happy to be on WTBR 89.7 FM. My name is Jen Glockner. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Development for the wonderful city of Pittsfield. We run the Love Pittsfield website, lovepittsfield.com, and we put out a newsletter once a week with all of the things happening in Pittsfield. Please subscribe to that. If you do not, you can subscribe via lovepittsfield.com. And if you have an event happening in Pittsfield, let us know. We will put it in the Love Pittsfield newsletter because we want the world to know about all of the events happening in Pittsfield. Speaking of events happening in Pittsfield, we are officially in Pride Month, which is amazing. I did attend the unveiling of the raising of the Pride flag, and I think the mayor and the Berkshire Pride Committee was so great about saying every month is Pride Month, but we're really, really celebrating it for the month of June. So the flag is officially up in the city of Pittsfield and at City Hall. Berkshire Pride has a huge festival on Saturday, June 3rd with a parade, but there are events throughout the month celebrating Berkshire Pride. Those events are on lovepittsfield.com, or you can go directly to Berkshire Pride's website and follow them on social media for all of the fun things happening. First Friday's Arts Walk is Friday, June 2nd with a Pride theme as well. A lot of events happening throughout that. And the month of June celebrates the third Thursday of the season on Thursday, June 15th. It is the earliest the third Thursday can be, June 15th from 5 to 8 p.m. Guardian Life Insurance Company of America is the sponsor, and Jacob's Pillow will be putting on some amazing performers on the stage along with collaborators in dance throughout the county. So looking forward to that on Thursday, June 15th. This week on the Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show, we are talking to Laura Brennan, the Economic Development Program Manager at BRPC, Berkshire Regional Planning Commission. These acronyms are very hard. There could be a trivia game.
Planners love them.
On all the acronyms. Planners do love them. I remember CJ Haas would just, in one conversation, he'd drop like 10 acronyms, and I'm like, CJ, I need to back up, and you need to tell me what 3 of those are. I got all the rest, but what is this and this and this? So BRPC is Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, and Laura is the Economic Development Program Manager. The city of Pittsfield will be working closely with the BRPC, Laura and her coworker Wiley, because it was just announced that the NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts, Our Town grant, we are a recipient, $75,000 recommendation for the Our Town grant to develop a cultural plan for the city of Pittsfield. This is very funny for people to hear because we have a lot of art and culture in the Berkshires and in the city of Pittsfield, but we don't have an official cultural plan. Now, the planners of the world in the city of Pittsfield do have a plan for the city of Pittsfield, a municipal plan for the city of Pittsfield, and there's part of the plan that involves culture, but there is no separate official cultural plan. So we're super excited to be working with BRPC starting in September of 2023 for a year to gather all of the info to develop this cultural plan. And can you reference some of the work that you did with the outdoor recreation plan and how it will be comparable to what we'll be doing?
Sure. That's a great comparison. And I think it's also important what you pointed out about the fact that the city does have a comprehensive plan, and oftentimes a town or a city will have a master plan or comprehensive plan that includes a chapter about arts and culture, another one about historic preservation. But these are light touches, I guess I would say, typically, in terms of really identifying the needs and the ultimate goals for improvement. So doing a standalone cultural plan is going to be a great opportunity for the city and for stakeholders within the city to assess what the current conditions are, look at areas that need improvement, and look at areas that need bolstering, and really have a touchstone moving forward in opportunities to seek further grant dollars, to work together, to collaborate, and to always have that plan to point back to as we develop goals moving forward and sort of keep focused. So very similar to the experience with the outdoor recreation plan, this is going to need to involve a lot of community input and opportunities for people to share what they feel about the past and the present, and to identify goals and prioritize those goals, because you can't tackle everything all at once.
Yes.
Together. So that's a big part of it. And then once those goals are prioritized, and there are a handful that really make the most sense to tackle first, digging into what is it going to take to achieve those.
Yes.
Plans, the worst reputation, I think, of municipal planning is that a plan gets developed and then it stays on a shelf. That is not the case when you have a lot of really engaged stakeholders involved, and you hold yourselves accountable for continuing to use that plan in making determinations about how you're going to budget and how you're going to go after, additional state or federal grant dollars. And so it is a great roadmap to move forward with.
Yes, you said it well. It does give you some clout to say, this is the plan. So when you go to apply for funding or grants, you say, this is the plan. We need this grant to help execute this plan that is in place. So It's all good. It's very exciting. We're super excited, as always, to work with the cultural organizations to collaborate on this project, including, of course, Berkshire Theater Groups, Colonial Theater, Barrington Stage Company, Arrowhead, Hancock Shaker Village, Berkshire Museum, Berkshire Athenaeum, and we have engaged as a partner the Berkshire Black Economic Council and AJ Enschel and the Black Arts Council, and they have been a key partner since the beginning, writing a letter of support.
Yeah.
So we're super excited that it's all coming to fruition. You press submit on a grant and you really have no idea.
And sometimes you have to wait a really long time.
Yes, you do.
As was the case in this.
Yes. So we're excited. The city of Pittsfield is partnering with the BRPC, the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, to do a cultural plan for the city of Pittsfield. The timeline of this is September 2023 for 1 year until August 31st, 2024. So you will see us engaging in many ways at already established events in Pittsfield, but also at perhaps new pop-up events and asking the questions that we need. And we will say that some of the things that are happening culturally in the city of Pittsfield are working, and that's also part of the plan. So in order to form the plan, you have to get feedback of what are we liking, what do we need, what's missing, but what should we accentuate and really shout from the rooftops that's working well. So this is all part of the planning process. And I know the planners are really excited about this. I am not a planner. I mean, in life, I'm a planner.
You're a very good planner in life.
I am in life. I'm a planner, but it's not part of my, everyday job. So I'm excited to use the people that are good at planning to help come together and make this a success.
Well, we're very excited to be involved. And I think one of the biggest potentials here is to identify ways for institutions and organizations to work together more intentionally. We are known for our ability to collaborate in the Berkshires. From a statewide perspective, I hear all the time, wow, how you guys work so well out there in the Berkshires. And of course, we have no choice. We have to often band together in order to make our voice heard. But I think that sometimes those collaborations are a little bit loosely formed, and the planning process gives you a chance to really formalize those relationships and recognize that applying for grants together and doing projects together and even putting together joint exhibits or performances strengthens everybody's message.
Yes, it's intentional. I like that word, being more intentional. Once again, this is the Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show. We're so happy to be on WTBR 89.7 FM. My name is Jen Glockner. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Development for the wonderful city of Pittsfield. We are talking to Laura Brennan from the BRPC, the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission. She's the Economic Development Program Manager there, about all of the things the BRPC does for the county, including a lot of cultural engagement. Again, I don't think that people realize that BRPC is involved in the cultural aspects of the Berkshires. And we are working closely developing Art Week. We can talk about that. Unbeknownst to, again, a lot of people, there are 5 cultural districts within the Berkshires. 5 cultural districts designated by the Mass Cultural Council. That's impressive.
It is.
It is Pittsfield, Williamstown, North Adams, Lenox, and Great Barrington.
You got it.
5 cultural districts designated by the Mass Cultural Council. And so for years, we would kind of say that out loud. We would see our, colleagues in Boston for meetings from North Adams or from Lenox. But again, this happened really over COVID, where we said we need to have regular meetings via Zoom at the time to work together to do things. There was a statewide Art Week, and the Berkshires came together even after that didn't happen and said, we want to keep this going in the Berkshires. Right. So Art Week Berkshires was formed, and it's alive and well.
It's fantastic. We are the envy of other regions that have multiple cultural districts because we have figured out a way, even with our huge geographic expanse, to work together. Zoom certainly helps. And one of the ways that is being done is that those 5 cultural districts, along with one Berkshire, are partnering to do Art Week Berkshires. And this year, it will be October 14th through the 22nd. Just so to back up a little bit and explain, what is Art Week? Well, Art Week is a celebration of all things creative regionally throughout the whole county. So if you are an individual artist, if you are a gallery owner, if you are a museum or theater or other type of creative venue, you can be a part of Art Week. And the expectation is really only that whatever you offer during that time frame is somehow more experiential and interactive than what a typical experience at your venue or in your gallery or studio would be, so that we give people the opportunity to really meet artists and ask them questions and understand their process. And it's a way to really highlight how pervasive the creative economy is in our region. It is so much more than the giant venues that have major festivals or exhibits or seasons of performances. Mm-hmm. It's also the people backstage, and it's the people who are doing art in their garage or their backyard. Mm-hmm. And so it's an excellent way to spotlight all of that.
And Art Week has evolved a little bit over the years, but as Laura said, it is October 14th through the 22nd in 2023, and there will be a submission process through One Berkshire. Thank Thank you. One Berkshire and Elizabeth Nelson. They have been a key component of Art Week and making the website beautiful and user friendly. So you can you can submit your event, and it can be, as we were saying, it can be an open studio. You simply open the doors of your studio and you're painting in your studio. That is an immersive behind the scenes experience for people. It can be a behind the scenes tour of the Colonial Theater, the beautiful historic Colonial Theater. So many people maybe have been to the Colonial Theater but haven't walked backstage to see the dressing rooms and the way the curtain opens and closes. So that's an example. It can be a dancer performing but also stopping and saying, look at how I'm doing this shuffle ball change, like slow motion dancing of what they're showing. Just these are random just examples of immersive, simple things that one artist can submit and say, I want to be a part of Art Week.
Yes.
I'm going to open my doors. Here's what I'm going to do. The submission process is quite easy, and we are all here to help, all the representatives of the cultural districts.
Of the cultural districts, exactly. We do want it to be experiential, but that hopefully is exciting to people who are in the arts and want to share what they do and be able to answer questions and inspire other people with their work without it having to be, a full-blown production, performance, or anything like that. So if you already have an exhibit or a performance going on during that time frame, what we would encourage is just to find a way to do set aside some time for a behind-the-scenes experience or a talkback or, whatever it may be that helps people to get a more immersive experience of the arts during that time frame. One of the ways that this is beneficial is that it's a little bit off-season. I mean, I know that the shoulder seasons in the Berkshires have really expanded, and what we used to think of as high season is a lot longer. So I know it's still busy during that time frame, but it's also a great opportunity to engage with people after the complete madness of July and August are past. And,
yes.
Yeah.
And that was one of the original intentions of Art Week, is to be on the quote-unquote off or shoulder season, which, as we said, doesn't really exist anymore in the Berkshires. But it's supposed to be a little calmer. So this week, Art Week, which is a collaboration between the 5 cultural districts in the Berkshires: Pittsfield, Lenox, Great Barrington, North Adams, and Williamstown, the 5 cultural districts designated by the Mass Cultural Council. This event, Art Week, is a collaborative event between all of us, and it's October 14th through the 22nd. You will hear a lot more in the coming weeks. We are now having monthly, sometimes twice a month meetings to really get our act together for the launch of the announcement of Art Week this year.
And I think we should also make the point that if you are engaged in some sort of artistic endeavor outside of one of those 5 cultural districts, that's absolutely fine. Art Week is a county-wide event. It just happens to be organized by those 5 cultural districts. And so we welcome entries from anywhere within Berkshire County. We should also make the point that these are not juried. This is open to anybody. You do not have to be a professional artist of any type in order to participate. So we encourage people to think of this as an opportunity to, get some feedback and to show their work, even if they've never been in a gallery before or represented by a gallerist.
We did have people literally open their garage and turn it into a gallery, a studio, and be painting in their garage and just open their garage, put their address down, and they were listed as an Art Week event.
Exactly.
And so it could be as simple as that. There are also venues like the Lichtenstein Center for the Arts, which is where the City of Pittsfield Office of Cultural Development is. We are happy to help matchmake artists to other venues or to use the Lichtenstein if it's appropriate. We have 9 artist studios within the Licht, and they've already started talking about opening those studios as an event during Art Week, which again is October 14th through the 22nd. Save those dates. There will be a launch announcement coming very soon with more details, but it really is exciting that, me personally, I remember always thinking, I'm Pittsfield. Yes, we encourage people to go throughout the Berkshires. But this was a really intentional way for all of the districts to work together and be in Zoom meetings during COVID and say, even to say, what are you doing in Pittsfield? What are you doing in North Adams? Oh, I need to let people know that's happening. But wow, can you give us the template for that? Because we'd like to do something like that here. So it's very collaborative, very open, very transparent. There's not any competitive, edgy feelings between all of us because, again, we've been talking about this. It's an economic development for the county, creative economy. I mean, doing all these things brings people to the Berkshires and
Absolutely. And every cultural district is different. I mean, and they're at different stages in their lifespans. Pittsfield is one of the first cultural districts to be designated by the state, right? And Great Barrington and Lenox came into the fold much, much later. So the way that each district approaches their programming is different, and we all learn from one another. BRPC really enjoys being able to provide staff support to both Lenox and Great Barrington. We help them through the application process when they became designated, and now we continue to provide staffing support to each of those districts. And, they operate completely differently from one another because they have different needs and priorities, and their community has asked for different types of support. So I will also just reinforce that each of the cultural districts is there to help matchmake people with space to be a part of Art Week. If you are not interested in opening your home studio to visitors, and, particularly given we don't know what kind of traffic might come through, it's perfectly fine to contact your cultural district and say, I really want to be a part of it, but I need to be connected with somebody that has more public space, like a bank lobby or a restaurant that wants to host an artist at some point during that time frame. And again, you don't have to do something for the entire 9 days or whatever it is. You can say, my Art Week event is on the 14th, on the opening day of Art Week, and I'm going to be demonstrating for a couple of hours. And that's like all you have to do.
That's it. It really is. We want to make it as simple and easy as possible for artists, because the goal of this is to have as many people participate, as many artists and cultural performers and everyone as possible. We want it to be accessible. We want it to be inclusive. And so we've really tried to make it a really easy application process. And as you said, it's not juried or curated at all.
And there's no fee.
There's no
We do
fee.
not charge artists to participate in
That's a
Art
very
Week.
important
Yes.
aspect. Once again, this is the Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show. We're so happy to be on WTBR 89.7 FM. My name is Jen Glockner. I'm the director of the Office of Cultural Development. We have Laura Brennan on from the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission. We've got about another minute or so. We've been talking about the amazing news this week that the city of Pittsfield and BRPC collaborated to apply for a grant from the NEA, the National Endowment for the Arts, the Our Town grant, and we got word that we were recommended for the $75,000 grant to form a cultural plan for the city of Pittsfield, which is super exciting. And a lot of people, it's hard to grasp the idea that we're spending money just for a plan. And in fact, when I'm thinking of all the things and filling in all the things for the application, I tend to go way more into the weeds. I'm like, no, we're planning. And the point of the plan is that it will make it easy to apply for other funding to execute the plan.
Exactly. You plan in order to know what you want to implement first.
Yes, and it will be a very community-oriented process. So this is the first of many things you've heard from us over the course of the next 14 or 15 months. We want everyone's opinion about what they think that is happening now that's good, what is missing, what can we do for more accessibility, all of those things.
It's also a great time to really dream big and to think about things that don't exist yet that would really be game changers for the city of Pittsfield and for the region. So
yes, totally agree. Awesome. I think we're out of time. Cultural Pittsfield Radio Show. Thank you so much, Laura Brennan, for joining us and talking about the Cultural Plan, Art Week, and all the awesome things that the BRPC is doing for Pittsfield and Berkshire County.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yay. Have a great day, everyone.